Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching in the world. And this is the fifth installment of trying to determine who Wrexham is playing. Why do we like you? Why do we hate you? Who are you? So, Barrow, we'll see you on Saturday. The question is... Let's get into it. Welcome to the Red Horde. If you haven't seen the previous versions of our Who Are You series, they're definitely there for you to go back. Feel free to watch this one if you enjoyed it. Go back and see the other ones. Like, comment, subscribe. It means a lot. Lots. The hours are up. Looking for those subscription buttons. So if you get the chance right now, click on that. Again, we run the watch parties. We will be there to watch the Wrexham Barrow match. We won't be streaming it, of course, but we've got the chat online. You can sit there and watch, join in the fun, have a conversation, express your opinions, talk about the goals. It was a lot of fun last time. Viewership dropped off given the first half, and man, they came screaming back in a hurry. So join us for the watch party. Link is below. You'll be able to figure all of that out. So we've got Barrow. And I'm going to start with something I haven't done before, and I'm going to go back to the Swindon game and give a section of an interview that Parkinson talked about, because as you're going to see from the statistical information, Barrow has a pretty obvious strength when it comes to scoring goals and seemingly how they're going to play the game against us, and it might pose some problems with our style. So here's what Parky had to say.
Stopping crosses and defending your box and blocking shots on the edge of the box. As simple as that. We spoke about it during the week, and too many crosses came in, too many headers were lost in the middle of the goal, and if it's a windy day and we're not passing the ball with Christmas we'd like, but you stand strong as a group, then you can make an indifferent performance okay and get to half time. And we've got to be honest and say that we've got a lot of work to do as a group, every single one of us. We need a good week on the training pitch. We need to review everything.
Now, if you missed it, what was he talking about there that's relevant when it pertains to Barrow? Crosses. As you're going to see when the stats come out, there is an obvious way that Barrow gets to goal, and that is they have a high cross completion rate and they have some giants up front. It's going to pose a challenge, and so I hope they got that practice in on the pitch. But before we get into that and start looking at the stats, let's go back and talk about, well, just who is Barrow anyway? Barrow, known as the Bluebirds, located in Barrow in Cumbria, so we're going north for this one. Population 56,745. The stadium, Holker Street, opened in 1909 and has a capacity of 6,500, 2,249 being seated. They averaged attendance last year of 3,492, so that put them 19th out of the 24 teams that were in League Two last season. Distance away from the racecourse, 135 miles or 217 kilometers. Let's take a little trip on the Google Earth as we go over that. That's a travel time of 2 hours and 20 minutes. As the Google Earth spins, you can see it located up there, and we'll bring a picture up as soon as it stops spinning so that you can have a look at the stadium that is Holker Street. And from there, what's interesting is this is the first club that I wasn't able to ascertain or determine from the company's records, the company's house, or otherwise exactly what the turnover is for Barrow. So a little bit of the unknown there. I'm going to have to try and dig that up later. I find that a little bit odd. So the history of the Bluebirds. They joined the EFL in 1921, and from there they stayed in the bottom level of competition until 1967, where they saw their promotion into the third tier, where they stayed until 1971-72, and eventually they fell down into the National League, where they spent, hold on for a second, a whopping 48 seasons in a row in non-league football. Conference, National League, call it what you will. They were stuck there for 3 times longer than Wrexham, which must have felt like an eternity. Wow. But promoted out of the National League into the EFL in the 2019-2020 truncated COVID season. They made their way back up, and they've just avoided relegation since then, essentially, other than last year. 21st in 2020-2021, 22nd the year after that, and then last year they did a lot better. finishing in 9th place. So let's have a look at their kit here. I'm going to be honest with you. I have a soft spot for teams that are smaller, but when it comes to your kit, the kit history looks like something you would anticipate from a thrift store and just going in and finding a box of jerseys and pulling them out and saying, this is what we're going to go with. Like the history of the kit for Barrow, it's had blue in every shade you can imagine, yellow, green, pink, basically slap a different sponsor on it, let it go run out and see how the team does. This year, it's again eclectic. The away jersey is white with a blue stripe down the side. It basically looks like a Finnish flag, where the away jersey's the black one with a lightning bolt down it. I don't see a connection between them, but then I guess that's par for the course, because Barrow really hasn't had a connection in any of the jerseys they've had in the past. You guys need somebody there to help you with your kit. I don't know who that is, where you find them. Jersey Bird, maybe. They do some crazy stuff. But anyways, got to work on that. Bookie odds have them placed in 17th. That's a bottom 1/3 club. Their performance so far this season has been much better than that. 2 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. They're presently tied for 4th place with 5 other teams. The first game was a win against Tranmere away. Second game, a 2-1 win over Sutton United at home. Sutton United was down for a man for much of that match. Barrow was able to take away the win. Third game was a 1-1 draw with Accrington Stanley, and that one was away. And then the fourth game, a 1-0 loss to Stockport. And maybe somewhat concerning is Barrow seems to, at least statistically, be underperforming. That is to say, the expected goals per match, the calculation of corners, passing, shots on goal, all of those opportunities, fouls, lead to a calculation of how many goals can be expected from one team. Their number, 1.36 goals per match. Perhaps more concerning is that it's 2.13 goals expected per game at home. And when you compare that to what they're actually scoring per match, that is expected to be a little bit higher than they're actually obtaining. So there may be some more that you can get out of Barrow, which hopefully doesn't happen this weekend. Crosses coming in, we'll get into that. Now the expected goals. This one will be a tougher match than it was probably drawn up when the schedule first came out. And in addition to that, they just signed Sam Bellis, who is a player who's been cast out, and they've snapped him up. So I'm not sure if he'll have enough time to make it into the roster, the lineup for Saturday. But really, when it comes to the forwards, it's led by 3 guys. But let me just go over the statistics, because we've talked crosses. And it's obvious and apparent, because when you have this lineup, you know what's going to end up happening. Aqua, he's 6'3". Proctor, 6'2". Canavan, 6'3". There are other 2 backups that are potentially available to them. Garner, 6'2". Duffus, 6'2". So you've got big bodies standing up front. Aqua, he was a transfer from Maidenhead in the National League. Just as a consequence of that, there's not a lot of analytical stats to go through, but he is doing quite well as far as his goals this year, above average in scoring and involvement so far this year. Jamie Proctor, 31 years of age. He was one of the Port Vale players who decided to come down to League 2 and play for Barrow. Limited times, early days, but I will say one thing is his statistics look like he should be a defender. His aerial duels numbers are off the charts. He's not in the 97th percentile as a forward. Ground duels, 90th percentile. His passing, 15th percentile pass completion rate. Dribbling success rate percentage a little lower than what would be expected at 11%. But look, this is why I think this is the strategy, is you've got these guys up there with center back type stats up against the center backs. Tozer, if he starts, whoever's in the middle, better be ready, because they're going to be in the air a lot, I think, come Saturday. Again, Canavan, 32 years of age, more aerial duels, 96th percentile when it comes to success in aerial duels, but the remainder of the stats are a little bit low. Predictable, right? I think. I guess we'll see Saturday. Looking then to Barrow's midfielders, and really you have 3 players that are leading the charge, both as far as minutes played and sort of quality of statistics. You've got 2 more of the offensive midfielders, the first being Dean Campbell, a 22-year-old find out of Aberdeen in the Scottish Premiership. He's seemingly found a way in Barrow. He's 86th percentile when it comes to crosses and cross completion, 3.6 attempts per 90 minutes. His pass completion stats a little bit low. He's in the 48th percentile and 75th percentile when it comes to attempted passes. In addition to him, you have David Worrell, 33 years of age, 355 minutes played. He stepped down from League One in Port Vale to join Barrow, and another player with exceptional crosses, 98th percentile with his cross completion and 12.5 attempted crosses per 90 minutes. That's a lot. Parky wanted to defend him and see if Wrexham could do a better job. We're going to get tested. Tom White is the other midfielder. He's at 26, 359 minutes. From the statistics, I'm going to assume that he's playing more in a defensive midfielder role. He's not been involved in the scoring yet. In fact, he hasn't tried any crosses. He does have some decent stats in defense. His ground duels and interceptions are certainly there. And he's 70th percentile in successful passes with a healthy number of passes, which makes me think he's more towards the back and starting to build up the play through the midfield. So those are the top three. You have other players back there. Kean Spence, 22. He's got 267 minutes trying to find his legs. Not really great statistics, but he's got a goal and an assist, which puts him in the 95th percentile when it comes to contribution towards goals. The other defender that you've got, other midfielder you've got, Elliot Newby, 27. He's got 262 minutes. He's appeared in 5 games, 3 with starts, but doesn't score a lot. He's got three goals in 2020, 2021, and 2021, 2022. And then last year he only scored twice. So he hasn't found the net, hasn't taken any shots. His cross completion rate though is in the 83rd percentile, which is still pretty good, but not anywhere close to David Worrell or Dean Campbell that we were going through. Looking at the defenders then, George Ray, 29 years old, a Welshman, 416 minutes he's played so far this season. Impressive in the air, 99th percentile. This is what Barrow does, is I just expect the ball not to touch the ground as far as what their preferences and their desires are going forward this match. Weak on the ground and passing is Mr. Ray, so that fits the narrative that we've been reviewing the entire time. Tyrell Warren, 24, 302 minutes. Great defensive stats, really 71st percentile or better in all major categories. So he's probably looking to build a case for more time on the pitch. And so far this season has done that. So I would expect that those are the 3 that we would anticipate in the back for Barrow. And then that leaves us just with the goalkeepers. And I don't know, flip a coin as to who we get. You've got Paul Farman, 33. He's played 270 minutes. You've got Josh Lillis. He's played 180 minutes. I would tend to think that Farman's got a leg up here, but we won't know until the lineup is announced, and we'll figure it out. And so Barrow, if we're going to compare them to a North American franchise, you've obviously got to go with a northern team that maybe doesn't have a history of substantive success. So the NBA, you're looking at the Portland Trailblazers. In hockey, you may be looking at the Buffalo Sabres. Baseball, the Milwaukee Brewers. Football, the Detroit Lions, and those are probably the North American comparatives I give to them. And of course, we've been doing food, we've done marshmallows and other things, and this one should be obvious as this video has definitely had a theme: Barrow, hot cross buns. So there you have it, the quick summary of the match, the lead up to Barrow. Try to make a prediction for this one. You know what? I'm going to end up saying, because the Wrexham matches tend to be high scoring, that this one's going to have to be a 3-2 win for us to take this one away. We need to start getting some 3 points together here. As much as it's nice not to have dropped one for a while, we need to start collecting some points, and this isn't disrespectful to Barrow by any stretch of the imagination, and especially because, as John identified, when I get critical, the team tends to underperform. So let's keep the superstition going of me not being critical and Wrexham playing well. So I'm going to go with a 3-2 score. Join the watch party. We'll be there at Saturday. This will play in advance again prior to it. We'll be there to chat. There's an embedded chat. You can talk about your opinion, your thoughts, your goals. It's a lot of fun, a lot of chaos. It's been impressive to me to end up seeing people from Wrexham who can hear the actual match going on, can't pick it up on TV, and they end up getting updates from a Canadian who's watching over the internet on about 4-minute, 5-minute delay before it gets back to them. But it's been a lot of fun, so keep that growing. We're going to do that. Hit the subscribe button below, and I will see you Saturday, 7 o'clock in the morning, my time, 10 o'clock in the East, 3 o'clock for those of you out in Wales, the UK, England, and I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for this. This is the Red Horde. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome wherever you are watching. It's game time, and I've got Kit. Finally showed up in the mail. $60 in duties fees later. And yeah, you just saw the preview. Before we get going over what we've got as a lineup for this match, an interesting development that happened right after I posted the video is Barrow went out and got Telford from Crawley Town. And so that's going to be interesting because when I looked at Barrow, obviously saw the video, it looked like it looks good. Thanks, Brendan. I'm so stoked. I got the away jersey sitting over there, but had to figure it out and went with the away today. I got the third in reserve. So Del Telford, 5'7", so not the land of giants like all of the other strikers that they have. He is a poacher. I saw some of the highlights from Newport where he was 2 seasons ago, where he put in 11 goals. And yeah, he had a couple header goals, and one really cracking shot from outside the box. But most of his goals were poaching, where he was picking up the garbage that was hanging around in front of the box. And I was like, that's probably what Barrow needs. Didn't perform as well last year, it sounds, and Crawley wasn't necessarily happy with him. The fans weren't. It sounds like it was sort of a Billy Waters thing, expected to get a little bit more than they were getting. But anyway, that's an interesting thing. He's actually in the subs, so he won't be starting. As to our lineup, I don't know what your guys' thoughts are. Is outside of potential injuries, we're still wondering where Hayden is. We're still wondering what's going on with McLean, and obviously Fozzie, he's gone, he's retired, and I know a lot of people were looking for a video from me for that. It's kind of hard for me to do because while connected and everybody else threw out so much content, I just have too much work, and trying to find a way to give a proper video was difficult and needed some time. And I may still do that. I don't know, but it looks like McNicholas is going to be the replacement for Howard, which I think makes sense given the age and who he came in for. I don't know if Andrew's here, might be able to give some insight into that as to what he thinks of our goaltending options, because he has some insight as to McNicholas and how he performed in Sligo. Father Ted Criley, you made it. And I see that we had, and I'm going to forget her name, from Manitoba joined us. We were chatting through the social media stuff. Sheldon, I think, is here from Manitoba. So that's awesome. We've added new people. The numbers are quite high. But our lineup, going back to it, I think that you had to give Bickerstaff a run and in the starting lineup. I think he's earned that much. In fact, I'm going to go as far to say is that when Mulls comes back, at present, based on just performance, assuming everybody's healthy, everybody's running, everybody's happy, do you take Palmer out when Moles returns, or do you take Bickerstaff out? I'm leaning towards it being Mullen and Bickerstaff for the show, which is going to be interesting. We're September 1st is the end of the rosters, or the close of the rosters. We've got to have our 22 outfield over 21 players identified, and so that's going to be interesting to see what we do there. As to the midfield, that's exactly what I would want. So this is now I'm nervous because we've got tough competition. Barrow's been performing exceptionally well, better than everybody expected. That's to be fair, but they're in it, and I think we needed them in the midfield. We've got speed forward. I'm happy either way on who's on the right side, and then we've got as good as I think we can get on the back line. Cleworth, I'm happy as a sub. I want to see him get a run out today, and I don't know where that is, but I like the idea of him coming in and picking up minutes from the 60th minute onwards. So we'll see where things are at. Let me know your thoughts as we go through things. We're now 12 minutes away from kickoff, and that's sort of my overrun is Del Telford and what's going to go on there. That'll be an interesting one. I heard that there's rain. I tried to pick it up to see what it was like on Google and through the Doppler and stuff. It doesn't look like it's too heavy. And yes, that is probably the best news. I'm just going to bring my chat up. Dale, obviously, you and I were chatting offline. I am exceptionally stoked for you to be able to go and watch Doncaster. I got a lot of people that I know in Doncaster, and it's the only Tier 2 team that I have, or Tier 2, League 2 team that I have watched in person when they were in League 1. I was at a Rochdale game at Keepmoat. I don't think it's called Keepmoat anymore, but the new stadium they have in Doncaster, where they beat Rochdale 5-1. So that was a long time ago. So you get to see one of the teams I have a connection with anyways. And we know the story if you want to share it with respect to who you're going to be able to see. I'm super excited for you. I think that's amazing, and I'm hoping I get to do that relatively soon. just trying to go through things. If you haven't identified where you're from, feel free to do that. We're keeping track of where things are at. I believe Manitoba being added is a new addition. I'm just going to bring that one up here. No, we did have somebody from Manitoba, but whatever state you're from, whatever province you're from in Canada, from whatever country, we did have a lot of new ones covered last time. Peru, Chile, Colombia, Kenya, South Africa has been involved. And so I can bring those ones up. If you are looking for the stream, we will not be streaming it live here. This is additional commentary. The ways for you to watch this are through iFollow. iFollow has a per match fee, it has a per month fee, and it has a annual fee. You get a discount if you order more. I would suggest and recommend go ahead and look at those as options. There's also, dodgy Fire Sticks or whatever streams you can find. We won't be posting, or I won't be posting links to those if they're available. If somebody else does, that's for them to determine to do, and I'm not going to control that or restrict it. So Dale, you're going to have to follow that one up with me when you get an opportunity. I know that there are people online who do the trades, and you might want to check out Red Passion for that sort of thing. There is an exchange, ticket exchange. I haven't looked it up formally, but I know that there's one that's out there. When I go over, I know we have our 75 seats, and they're kind of, for the international fans, stuck over on the one side. Not because I don't like international fans, obviously I do, but when you go for the experience, you kind of want to be in the midst, right? And so I'm kind of hoping to do the same thing as far as a ticket transfer when we get to make our trip over. Another one from Texas. That's awesome. I'm enjoying watching this continue to grow as we go through things. What else can I tell you in the lead up before the match? Mark Griffiths, if you haven't heard, he's going to be doing the audio for the remainder of the matches this season. So that's great news. We obviously had a lot of change up this week with Ben leaving, and I can't even think because it's too early in the morning. That's where I'm at. I'm just gonna go through this. Chicago, Illinois. Oh, a Saturday only package. Yeah, that would be, I guess the only option is then you've got to do by match whenever you get an opportunity. See, that's the fortunate nature when you can set them aside. I don't know how we're going to survive next weekend. I think the match for me starts at 4:15 in the morning. I'm going to have to bring that one up. And I also don't know, and this is another thing to keep an eye out, I don't think there's going to be a stream of the EFL Cup game that's on Tuesday against Bradford. I haven't found anything. I know it's not going to be on iFollow. I haven't seen it on DAZN. I assume if it's not on DAZN Canada, it's not going to be on ESPN because it's not being picked up by TV for TV purposes in England and the UK, so they won't stream it here. So it may be an audio only match, and I don't know exactly how that's going to work. I do intend to be here. But yeah, it's 11:45 a.m. against Bradford on Tuesday, and then the next match after that, Tranmere. That'll be a fun one. I know they'll be in their bonnet with respect to us trying to make it a geographical rivalry, and most of the older, the more experienced Wrexham fans are hinting to them that it's not a rivalry as much as they want to make it one. So we'll see how things go there. But if anybody finds out or hears anything, by all means, send me a message about the Bradford game, because it sounds like it's going to be audio only, which is going to be frustrating. Maine, that's a new one. I will definitely add that one to the list. That's exciting stuff. I'm wondering by the end of this whole process if we're going to be able to get all 50 states, 10 provinces, and how many of the, depending on how you count them, 190 to 200 countries that are out there. But I'm going to put Maine on there and throw that one in there as an encouragement. So feel free to hit it with the thoughts. Kansas, we're rolling it up. Let's bring that one into the equation. If you haven't been here before, and I'll bring the link down here for the iFollow. The iFollow is down below. You can go to the Wrexham website to end up signing up. I do encourage that as the process, because the team gets 80% of whatever it is that we as fans contribute. And the way I look at it is, if we're going to support the team and we're going to follow the team, I get that times are tight and I know that it's tough, but I always consider it advantageous to support the team in whatever way we can. And so sign up. and even if it's just a one game thing, to see if you can, if you can make that game, and take part. That's my recommendation. So the link down there is below, wrexhamafc.co.uk/iFollow. It's got the fees that are laid out there, and go ahead and do that. I haven't even gone on to iFollow, which I'm just going to do right now to bring up, because I'd hate to be behind when this whole thing gets started, or end up having some sort of crazy tech glitch, which everything seems to go. If you haven't noticed, and you'll let me know, I picked up a new camera. And I did that because there were some discussions that we had during the last watch stream of sort of three things that were preferred. One, they'd like to see the score consistently, so I wanted to find out if I could put a graphic up with that. They'd also like to see the running time, so I tried to figure that process out. And third, there were some comments that I received offline about the not being clear enough. So I've gone out and got a new camera. I can't do, well, I can do. I can do improvements to the stream through this service, but they're sort of offline and out of the chat, and it's through an embedded chat. I can't do it through online with what I have for service providers, and I'm already out of pocket. And so what I'm going to do is hit the subscribe button down below. If you like it, if you haven't got the chance, I really do encourage everybody to do that, because I'm hoping to get into the ad revenue, be able to add more. It's an extra, I believe it's $30 a month, and I can bring that up and then have the running clock with the scores, with the updated information, all sort of around the video in an embedded chat. And that's the vision that I have for where this is going. So yeah, please click on the subscribe button. Stay tuned, and we're just going to have to go with it. And as this continues to grow, I do intend and plan to have this watch party improve as we go through it. So 3 minutes away from kickoff, I'm going to the live match center. Finally, I'm really excited about this one. We need 3 points. We've got one away point. We've kind of given away some points in some matches that I think we should have done better in. This one, at the start of the season, I had this earmarked as one that we should win, maybe naively. As you've watched, not only just on their performance, but seeing their metrics, Barrow's doing well. And whether that's a credit to their coach, who, interestingly enough, not following the regular path that you see, right? He was an amateur who got into coaching sort of just through good fortune, maybe a little bit. He was with Oldham, and good on him for having that opportunity. So I'm finally going to bring this up and see where we're at with the live stream, because I've just been focusing on. Little stadium's cute. Is that wrong for me is that an insult to say it's cute? Yeah, and to be fair, not only are Barrow tough appointments, I'm going to bring that one up and get to where I need to go to. Not only are Barrow tough opponents, their style doesn't really work well with us. Like it's the style that we don't want, based on what we've seen so far. Is we've had some stuff with direct to the box goals, but more, and what Parkey identified was its crosses and defending the box. And what I expect is it's going to rain balls there. That I think Barrow's going to want to keep it in the air most of the game, and I think that we're going to be wanting to be direct, and we'll see how it goes. But it'll be interesting to end up seeing. And an interesting location for the stadium. It's kind of, I don't know if you saw the Google Earth when it spun through, sort of up in northern Barrow or western uh, Barrow, and kind of near the ocean stuff. It looks like it'd be the walk away from being able to see things. So rocking the Reds today. Lots of Wrexham fans in attendance. Man, I'm jacked about this one. I don't know why. At the start of the season, I was not really that intrigued about this one, but as things lined up, at this moment in time, it's a really important game, because it's gonna show how we did over the training pitch. We had an entire week to prepare for a team that has the kryptonite, I think, to our style. So we'll see. Sandy's made it. How are you, friend? That's the first time I think you've sent out the message, Sandy. I think you've lurked before in the background. Um, and Sandy, I'm starting to wonder: is there a place that you have not been to watch a match, to hang out, or to see? It's you seem to be on the road. I'm jealous and envious as I sit in my office in Vancouver that you're banging through the world and experiencing a whole bunch of things. So yes, Foster, if you've missed the news, welcome. Yeah, Ben Foster retired. The big question is, are we going to go out and get somebody? The window for outfield players ends on September 1st. And so we've got to get our roster down to 22, not including 21 and unders and the goalkeepers. So we've got to go through that and figure out what we're going to do. But there's been a lot of chat of, do we go out and get somebody? And I sent a message out, and I'm going to do this here. Tom McGill, he's at Brighton. He's at their U23. He's their third goaltender. He's also a Canadian on the national team. So I want him to join in. He's probably not. But we did pick up 2 young goalies, and Brendan's identified that. I should bring that up so that I can see things. So we've got McNicholas, and I believe the other one was Ryan. McNicholas is clearly the more experienced of the two, having played in Sligo in the Irish Premier League. And but I know that we've got one fan who I respect and admire, who's joins us for the chat, who's seen him and is very definitive that he's not the answer that we need. So the question is how far away is Leighton with his injury? Is it something else? And even if he is healthy, given his track record, do we need to go out and get somebody? And if we do, Tom McGill is the answer, right, Sandy? Let's go get him. I wasn't looking at US options as well, just because I thought if as a runner-up in North American would be nice. We're getting close to kickoff. I believe that you guys are in the blackout. And so for those of you who are in the UK, I will probably attempt to try to add a little bit more than I normally do. And so you can tune me out if you just wish to have the chat. You can take part. And so Ted, I don't know if you're talking today, but it's iFollow today. Audio is only available in the UK unless you've got a dodgy Fire Stick or a stream, or VPN, I guess. And so I'll leave that with you guys to figure it out. But we're at kickoff. If you're following along, I'm at the 0 minutes, and I'm going to keep you posted just as we go through things and remind to refresh as we go through things. Hopefully we've been Jekyll and Hyde with our starts, right? We've been really good or really bad. And I'm hoping the guys find their legs here having a week off. So it's rolled out for a throw in down near our goal, and Boyle's got it, and away we go. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are of the kits, but I think Barrow might have the worst kits in the league. They're the Bluebirds, so it makes sense, but it looks like a Finnish flag. And I think they could have done more, but they've got no history with their flags, with their kits. And then the away jersey with the black lightning bolt, and their history. I don't know if you saw them, but man, their kits are horrible. So if you can't get the audio, feel free to go with Mark if you're going to pay for it. And if not, I'm going to be here. We're sitting at 1 minute, and Barrow's going to have a throw in here as we're defending the box. Not much has happened in the first minute. They're on the right-hand side. So happy for that to go either way. Like I said, I'm not offended. I enjoy people who even sometimes tune me out entirely and just take part in the chat, even when they ask stuff that I've already talked about. So we've cleared it out. Slow start to the game, but I'm okay with that. Get our legs into us. A minute and 30 seconds in, it's going to be another Barrow throw. Yeah, I've seen that comment. You know what? I can't call him selfish. I just can't. He wanted to make a run of it. He thought he could make a run of it. I mean, nobody makes that decision thinking it's for other ulterior means, right? The reality is he did the job for us. He came in when we needed somebody to do the job for us, and he did the job. And for that, I gave him all the credit. He's, great save. And you say retaken with VR. I don't agree with that. I think he still had his feet set. I actually think that it should have been a free kick because of the rehandling of the ball in any event at the start. But Fozzie did his job. Well, that's where I'm at with it. I wish he would have been more fit so that he could have gone out on a high, but he didn't. And he made his selection and made his choice. And he did it from a position where he's as a goaltender, we can find another option even when the transfer window closes. So let's figure that out, sort of thing, and see where we're at. And I was kind of wanting to have One of the older goalies at the start of the year, Foster, Leighton, Howard, depart in some capacity so that we could get in 24 to 28-year-old that we could build as we go up 2-3. And I'm not assuming, but that's always the goal, is to go up, and that we have somebody we can build on. And I don't know if the ones that we have are a little bit too young. So So we've got our first throw in. It's in the box. Barrow gets it in there clean. So we're on the left-hand side. Tozer, who had the throw, is now up front. So he's played it back to Mendy. Mendy gets the long cross in. Barrow clears. Those aerial duels, I just don't think, are the aerial crosses. I just don't think that's the way to get into the box here, guys. I think we should be working towards the front of the box and trying to find our way in, because uh, their forwards, their backs, they've got an advantage on us with the height. But we still have it on the right-hand side. Drills that could go for a cross if he's not able to get it. No, they did. That was well done by Barrow to get that, and they're going to break out from the left-hand side. Going to be played back, and Howard's going to have a chance to take possession, and away we go. Oh, I do get that. 32 games. I'm going to be honest. I only started streaming in December, and I know that Howard was carrying the team, and I know that he had the clean sheets, but I found him to be slow to the ball, and it concerned me when I was watching. So when they went and got Fozzie, I thought it was an upgrade. Mendy across corner. So that was an interesting one. Lee, I think, intelligently knew he was offside, let it kind of go and kind of curled away from a ball that was played through to him in the box. So Mendy went in and picked it up. Limited options up against the line, but he was able to hammer it off of a Barrow leg, and it rolls out. I'm at 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Sandy, I don't know if you're with me, but as far as Bickerstaff goes, I think he's number 2 on the team, even when Moles is back. I don't know how you take him out based on his run of form, and that's. Do I think Palmer can give us more? Certainly. Do I think Dalby can? Yes. I have my doubts about Waters. Crosses in, and two chances. I was trying to see exactly. So that was Boyle that was up there, who had that, tried to get that volley in sort of with the header, it looks like. But came into the cross, bounced around, Boyle got it, hammered it, and it was, the goalie was right there, hit him in the breadbasket, popped up in the air, and then Barrow was able to clear, and they've got it now on the right side. It does look like it's raining because there are raindrops falling on the screen if you're able to watch the video. So yeah, hey, you can. It's definitely an option and a feeling that you're not the only person who's had it, and so it's not one that I hold. Do I think that he started this whole process for um, alternative means or additional means that promoting himself and his podcasts and his career post football? Absolutely, and he knew this was an opportunity, but I don't begrudge him for that as long as he performs. And I thought he performed. Up until this season, and then things kind of went south there. And yeah, he was, and there were two that I think that he could have got to. Barrow's coming down, and Tom gets back and clears it up, and now we're on the right hand side, and Barrow chips it off of Ford's feet, and it goes out for a throw in. So we're 6.5 minutes in, and sort of 50-50 equal back and forth. I think we are looking good, Brendan. Haven't been ignoring you. I think that's the first time I've said your name. We have been looking good. So have they. And that's what I expected. And that's what I'm hoping for, is sort of, we're going to get a punch, counter punch opportunity going back and forth. And this is where I'm concerned. When did you send that? A couple of minutes ago? Okay. Good chance. That was the Boyle. Because I was like, am I that far behind? So a lot of kicking back and forth through the midfield here, and it rolls out on the left-hand side, and Boyle's going to sit there and pick that up. I don't know what you guys are looking forward to as far as the match and the subs going in, but I'm looking forward to seeing Max and getting him out there in a league game. I don't know which of the 3 in the back he will take out, but across into the box, headed away. I feel like I'm going to be saying that all day. Wrexham crossing the box, headed away. I hope I'm not, but I would rather them work it over to the middle and try and find a way to get a little bit more direct. Tom's setting up and it comes into the back. And I'm also curious to see who we put out for the EFL Cup match against Bradford. Obviously, want to take a win, but not going to be putting in a full lineup. And so it'll be more Wrexham chances, but just slightly. They've had some possession more early on. We've had for probably the last 2 to 3 minutes, and especially including that corner that came in that Boyle hammered into the chest of the Barrow goaltender. We've been into it. We're starting to turn the possession now. When I commented before, it'd been about 2 minutes. Bickerstaff in on the right hand side in the box. He gets it out, cross in, hammered down, and Barrow's able to collect. Oh, Mendy gets it free. We've got it. Oh, Bickerstaff with the left, and it just rolled off and it bounced away to the left side. That was a scramble. And see, this is what I mean is the way to get into the box is not through the big high crosses, but go in through ground because their number 5 just made a butchery of that one, and Mendy got it free, curled it over to Bickerstaff, and Bickerstaff was able to get a shot on it. So, yeah, Mendy did go down calling for a penalty. I didn't even reference it. And Luke Young now in for the corner from the left side, it looks like, is weird camera angles looking at the roof. Another header for us, and it goes away. O'Connor now out at the box on the left-hand side, gets it back to Luke Young, over to Lee, back to Young. They're searching, and we're going to come back and recycle. No shots, but Barrow did have a couple of possession attempts in the first 4 minutes, but it's been a while, so giveaway. And we've got men back. We're not under threat here. Barrow's just collected it, and they're setting up in the back. So that was, I believe, Lee who gave that one away. Barrow with it on the left-hand side, working through. If you into the game, the whoever's doing the color commentary with Mark, that's not a voice I'm familiar with. And I missed who that was. If anybody knows, or if you've heard the voice before, I don't think I have. Long ball, closer. He's got it, scraping it. That's a penalty. That's a penalty. Penalty. Or did he point goal kick? See, I hate that. He's pointing. Palmer had him on the right, on his right shoulder, left shoulder. Did he give that? He did give that. Yeah, he was, because he was away. He had to give that. Palmer was ahead of him down the left-hand side. Long ball that came forward. He collects it, and 21 just reaches over with his left arm onto Paulie's right arm and just pulls him to ground. You got to call that one. And Mark agrees with me in my headset, so I'll take that anytime Mark agrees with me. Yeah, he just latched on and then swept his leg and pulled him down. So we'll see who's up to take it. Elliot Lee, number 38, standing there. I believe it's the elder statesman of the two goaltenders that Barrow has in the lineup today. 11 minutes, 15 seconds. Lee standing, waiting for the whistle. Goaltender standing large. Here comes the kick, right-footed, and scores. Very similar to the one he scored last time. Whew. Just slightly right of middle. We're off to a great start, and I think that's deserving. I think that they've definitely stepped up, and so don't have my captions up, and away we go. You guys wanted the score. This is where it's fun putting it in. Hey, John, you don't have to shut up. This is what this whole channel is for, is everybody to express an opinion. I am not a happy clapper. And so people are going to have their criticisms. Like Hosanna is another one. I don't think he has a spot on the team, but there are others who think I'm absolutely mad. But anyway, the goal, Lee, yeah, just like the pen he took in the last one against Swindon, just almost right down the middle, and the goaltender went the exact same way to the right. So you wonder if he's opening up, and it looks like he's going to go that way because he's drawing them into going right. So it is a good start, Dale. It is a good start, 1-0. And we're at 12 minutes and 30 seconds, and Howard's got it on our end, looking to set up as Barrow pushed it downfield. Whew. We need 3 points on the road, so let's build on this. As Brendan often says, right, we don't want that one goal. We need that insurance marker. So don't sit back and rest on our heels. Let's go. And the question was, anybody on the bog? Because superstition was that the only time we get goals is when somebody excuses himself to go sit on the bog. So Barrow's got it now for a chance. They're on the left side pushing through. They've cleared it now, and they'll maintain possession in the midfield. Down over to the right side. Oh, that was a nice little interplay. They're now further, but Mendy gets it. Did that go out for a corner or a throw? It went out for a corner. The roof of the stadium, it curls over from where the camera is, and so whenever it gets over to an extreme angle, you're sitting there staring at the top of the roof, and it's hard to see exactly what's down there. Can't have a heart attack every weekend, just once a month. There's a quota, right? So from the right side, Barrow with the kick. Oh, that was a weird kick. He just entered it in really, really flat. Barrow gained possession, but was that forward? He says that Young looks like forward. He's onside. Did that ball get past him? Bickerstaff chasing it down, and ooh, just chipped away. You know what? That was an interesting ball. You're talking the camera lens that they've got on the camera there. I'm hoping. I mean, do I need to scrub this one up a little bit? There you go. We've got. Hey, I think we're all fans of Howard. I don't think that he's the guy going forward. I don't. John does. You may. I hope he proves me wrong. I would love all of him, Hosanna, to find their game. I was critical of Mendy last year. Go figure. Oh, interesting stat that Mark just put out is Elliot Lee's penalty last match was the very first that he's taken, not including shootouts, but the first penalty during the game that he's taken, and so today is the second. So that's 2 for 2. Forward on the right side. Now he's back to EOC, and it gets rolled back to Howard, who punches it forward. Bickerstaff, well set up. Good for Bickerstaff. So that was him holding up play so everybody could get there, and the reserves came in and maintained possession. Boyle now down the left side. Nobody really to go to, so he goes back to Tom O'Connor. The possession stats, I think, are certainly probably in our favor now. That's a great ball. Bickerstaff, if he was onside, and kick left leg. Bickerstaff, how did he have the pace to do that? He came around the left leg and still, while curling, managed to get around the defender. Slow-footed, direct play. Don't do this aerial thing today. Because, that was a great ball. That was Bickerstaff. I don't know how he had that pace. That was impressive. So we've got another corner. And is this Luke taking this one? Yeah, not Lee. 16 minutes, 15 seconds. Young from the left side. Ref blows it. And if you're envisioning this in your head, Wrexham's going from right to left on your computer screen, and Barrow's going from left to right. So when I say left side, they're coming from the far left end. And Luke looks like he's having banter with people in the crowd because the crowd is right there. Anybody read lips? Ball into the box. It's a far one. And a foul to us. And so Barrow's going to collect it, and they're going to kick it up. Yeah, John, I get it. I know the stats are there. And he had how many clean sheets too, right? He had them all. When you've got a good team to be in the National League too, that helps. I don't want to be too critical. He's our goalie. He's who we're going to go with going forward, and unless and until bring somebody in. Even before the season started, even with Fozzie, I wanted to see a 24 to 27-year-old goalie sign in who could grow and build up to that next level, that middle tier, not the young kids, not the older guys. And it didn't happen. I'm hoping that we can get that now that there's an opening. Ooh, that was almost a dangerous for Lee running in there, and I don't think he saw the Barrow player, but fortunately last second avoided it. Definitely true, Ted. I do think Leighton's more quality than Howard is, and I guess that's the reason why. So we don't talk rugby league here, right? Because of the bad taste in our mouth with the whole experience that we had, Sandy. uh, Another era. For those of you that don't know, Sandy and I, we go way back. We've been to some rugby league, a rugby league match anyway, over in the UK together, at another era, another time, another circumstance. And so maybe I just followed you to Wrexham. That was one of my favorite sporting memories of all time, was going to a rugby league match and being laughed at, because I was heckling the entire time. And as much as Wrexham fans or UK fans, I think the chants and the involvement and the passion is there. The heckling is not the same. And so I definitely am looking forward to maybe getting into Wrexham and getting close enough to the front that I can throw down some commentary. Stockport against Mansfield. I tried to bring out more of the scores from elsewhere as we start to go through things. So Barrow's got it, left-hand side. It rolls to Howard. He clears it. And Palmer's running to scramble, but nope, Barrow just landed right at their feet. And they're coming at us now again. Center of the pitch, down to the right-hand side. Easy interception. Mendy with lots of time in the world. And he's sort of just walking it now down. He's made it all the way to the midfield stripe. And so now they'll recycle it, and Wrexham's got it. Holy, that is circular. I connected to the iFollow audio only with Griffiths using a VPN to place yourself in Southampton. We'll take that off so that there's no evidence of what happened there. Hey, you got to do what you got to do, right, to get it. I thought that the audio was still available to everybody outside of North America if somebody so opted to select to do that. So Tozer's going to go up for a throw-in from right in front of the corner flag, and it's going to take some time for him to get there. No, I agree. They've looked good with some of their interplay on the wings, but as soon as it gets to the point of that cross, that flat cross from the corner could have been trouble. But I think it was well played, and I even miss who got it. I think it was Mendy, but we'll see how these long bombs go in, given the height of the Barrow players. But here's Tozer with the throw, and it's short. Standard Tozer throw into the front post, headed into the middle, and then we weren't able to get it there. No space along these sidelines in Barrow, so that wasn't a very deep throw that we would normally expect from Tozer because he couldn't get a big run up. Yeah, it is the UK blackout, and I can chat about that blackout all the time. The CFL, that he's offside. Bickerstaff's offside. Yeah. The CFL, the Canadian Football League, had blackouts, regional blackouts and otherwise national blackouts all the time, with the expectation that people would go in to watch the game if they couldn't get it on TV. Then they opened it up, and what they realized was they were getting more fans because people were able to access their team. And so even with television being available at the time, people preferred to be in the stadium. I prefer to be in a stadium. I like you guys. I enjoy doing this. I don't want to be here. If I was in the UK, I'm following along. Even if I can watch the game on TV, I'll record it and watch it later. But no, that's good. A good tip that people were able to sort of VPN themselves around and pay to get the audio only. And now you get Mark, who's a far better commentator than I am. Barrow, we're at 22 minutes now. Barrow's got it on the right side, looking to get it through a chip over top. Well defended by Tozer, and they clear out. Lee's got it now, and Barrow chips it off of his leg. It rolls out, and we'll have another throw in. I like that. Not really a threatening corner in any event, but the fact that we were all positionally set upright and able to get to it, it was good stuff. So fingers crossed. You know what? I say do it for a month and put all the metrics out too, and just see what ends up happening. I think you'd be surprised. They would be surprised to find out that they're going to get more coverage. You've got good product, so put the good product out there. Brazil, I was waiting for a Brazilian. We've had so much of South America, but no Brazilians. So welcome, Tulio. That's awesome. Nice to see you. I get it. But I'm kind of glad that I fill this little niche that that's out there for people. Um, I mean, I think even when the audio comes back, there's still a role for people to chat and express their thoughts here. But it's kind of nice me picking up a sports broadcaster role halfway through these discussions. So Howard's got it. We've got it at the back. Boyle gets it to Boyle. He goes back, and Howard deep down to the middle of midfield, and Barrow's able to nick it. But Boyle's been everywhere, hasn't he been? Like, is it just because they're going down that side the whole time? But it just seems to me like Boyle's got it again. He was in on that first shot that went chest. He's been everywhere. And if you look at footy stats, by the way, he's had some very impressive stats. I think after this game, he'll actually be logged as a defender with enough minutes that he'll rate, and I think he'll be in the top 5 potentially for the defenders. Tozer and O'Connell concerning, but long down, Mendy gets horse collared around the back of the collar, but still continues. He's got it again. Cross in through the ground, cleared out, and he'll go for a throw. Mathianello from Brazil. I missed that one. So we've got 2. And yeah, I think there's all a little bit of sorrow for Ben not making it and not being with the club and not surviving through the upgrade. So the throw in goes to Mendy. He's got it, looks down the left side, gets it back to Tozer, who was up there for the throw in, and O'Connor hammers it. It's going to roll out, and we're going to have another left-sided corner. So call on Luke Young to run over and do his thing. I was wondering, for those that are Wrexhamites that are there, how good is the internet in the racecourse? I've heard that it was not very good, and that would be disappointing. I would love at some point in time to be to the point where people were at games and they sent links or sent videos. 1 second, Luke Young gets it in, lots of space for Barrow to head that one away. There no threat at all. These guys in their aerial duels. So Luke Young down the left side. But I would love for people who, everybody takes video at the games. Oh, Palmer ahead. He's onside. He's got a chance. Oh, wow. How did he get that one? That was a convert. It was good. Straight up over the goal. I'm not sure if he was onside there, but he got around. I'm kind of curious to see the play. So that was a deep searching ball, I think, from Ford. Not going to be able to tell if he was onside from that camera angle. He just got too close with the first touch and tried to hammer it, and it just went way up over top of the net. Still not sure if the flag went up. Can't tell from the screen, but it was another threat. We're still rolling through here, right? Yeah, and that's unfortunate. I was hoping to get people who take video to send me a video of a goal or the fans or whatever, because I can screen share, and as I get that stuff in, it adds an extra layer. I can't do copyright stuff, but if I've got a 5-minute delay and I get a video and then I can show people the goal who haven't been able to make it there, that's something I can legally do. And so something I might want to work on in the future is finding some people. I'd also like to find some people, full stop, that are interested in not only doing this and joining me, but be doing videos of their own, vlogs, post-game matches, discussions about whatever they want, figuring out something. I'd like to share the platform a little bit. I have been talking with some other Wrexham pods about joining and maybe doing like a podcast roundtable. It's just hard to match up schedules right now at the moment. Thanks, Jason. You're welcome, man. I'm curious where you are in the States. We're adding a list to see if we can check off all 50 states, all 10 provinces. And so let me know where you're watching from. Yeah, with HP there, you'd think even as a sponsor, the IPM stand, whatever, you get some improvements. But if anybody's in the stand and you actually take stuff and you take video, feel free to send it over to me before you go out. We can talk and maybe we can get some of those goals, highlights, or whatever put forward. I'm hoping that's for the month, that it was 4:30 Canadian. Hey, Melvin, welcome. I haven't looked at the updated table as everything goes on here. And I'm looking forward to getting to the point where I can hopefully, um, so we've got a corner now for Barrow, so maybe I should pay attention to this. They're going to come from their right-hand side, left-footed play in. That was a dangerous ball. Ooh, Mendy sort of missed the header, and it's kind of bounced and skipped up to Howard, and Howard was positionally right in the right spot, which was great because anywhere else that was close enough. I don't know if he would have had time to react. And Sandy, if you don't know, Dale is flying in from Texas, and it got announced about the Terry Fox thing immediately after. And so Declan Swans are doing a thing. I think it's at the turf, but whatever it is, he's going to be able to watch the the Declan Swans thing. So he should connect. We're connecting people here, and so that'll be interesting to see. Obviously, Terry Fox, big in my hometown, where I'm living now, his hometown, Port Coquitlam. We're sixth on the table. AC massive jump. Whoa. That was accidental, but Boyle ran forward, just too big. He ran forward to try and get to the ball. Wasn't expecting the player to stop suddenly. Player stopped and Boyle just bowled him over and blew him up. Mendy was there with him and he stopped for the ball and Boyle kind of gives the whoop, wasn't me. Oregon, I think that's a new one. So we'll add that one to the list. And yeah, Dale, if you get a chance, now you know there's going to be a bunch of Canadians because obviously Terry Fox being Canadian, they'll be there in good spirit. So they'll have to look for the hat and have a chat. And that's one more reason I'm jealous that you're going. Janet, we were just in Nova Scotia and in Halifax and absolutely loved it. And such an amazing place, such good people. Reminded me of Saskatchewan with all the Vancouver coastal things. It was glorious. Anyway, not a lot of Barrows had possession, but not a lot of threat. They kind of kicking around on the wings, and now they've collected to the back. If you missed Mullen's injury, he's now weeks away, and Bishop took him out from in a preseason match and broke one of his ribs, and he's still on the mend. And I heard rumors, at least from Wonder Boy on Twitter, that he's expected to actually be doing some light work and some practice now. So hopefully we're able to do that. We've got good numbers and the chat's rolling. This is making me happy. We're up to 42 consecutive continuous. So we've got Arizona, we've got Oregon, and the Wrexham. I like that one. So O'Connell's got it at midfield. That was a lot of extended play. We're at 30 minutes and 40 seconds if you're following along. But a lot of Barrow possession, but with nothing really happening, just sort of kicking it around the box. And now we've got it back. Guess who? Boyle, who seems to be everywhere. Bad, awkward bounce, bounced over the defender, and Boyle gets in there. Great, like last defender, one guy coming at him, and he's able to stick out the left leg and get the tackle, and it clears out. Like Boyle. So far, even though we've possession and we've had Lee with a penalty, and Boyle at 31 minutes is screaming man of the match right now to me. Belgium, the first one we've had that I recall anyway. Cross in, Howard, well done. It just fell over to his left, pulled it in, did everything it wasn't necessarily a difficult shot, but he played it exactly right and was able to vacuum it up as it was. I'm curious, like the Dons have been looking so good, other than, they had their hitch step last week, but them and Gillingham hasn't even conceded a goal. Have they yet today? I'm too busy watching this and trying to broadcast. I miss out on the live score, so feel free to give those updates as we go through. So Tozer's going to be running up. We'll have a throw in from the left-hand side. Palmer's been working hard. I've been critical of him so far this season. Tozer gets the throw in, so they took that one a little quick and threw it to Tozer as he was coming. Ford's got it. It gets over to the right-hand side. Young, back to Ford, back to Young, and we're working our way back to midfield, and then a long ball. Tozer gets it to his right foot, back. Oh, Palmer! Need a little bit more curl on that. Palmer just from outside the box got served up to him by Tozer, who had a nice play to himself. Great first touch, and then I thought he was going to take the shot, but instead he deferred off to Palmer, which was probably the right move. Center back leaving it for the striker, and Palmer hammered it with the left, and it started to curl over, but just couldn't get there. Somebody scored. Well, that's good. Barrow knocks it forward. Howard collects, and away we go. I would love to get another one, get that safety goal, all this possession, and Barrow's going to figure out things and start to press harder. You want to get that clear up. Well, that's got to be a foul, no? Bickerstaff got taken out in a foul, and so we're on the right-hand side, cross in from the right, deflected off of a Barrow player, but we're able to collect it again. O'Connor again down the right side, pushes it forward. We're deep now, and the cross in, and Lee, of all people, to get there with the head, he actually got there. It kind of went over top of Palmer and the defender, and Lee was the last guy that was sitting there to get it. And he actually was able to get to the header. And wouldn't that have been something, Lee, to get the header against these giants that are in the box? He's going to talk about that all week long. You could see this. Lee was smiling at Palmer as he walked back to kind of say, like, I got the header, and he's going to say the whole time, the whole week, where were you for that header? Hey, ELC, what province are you in? Gail, I appreciate it. I appreciate Sandy recommended. And yes, Sandy, these misses are driving me nuts. I just need to get one more. Brendan talks about it all the time, about the necessity for an insurance goal. And the problem is every time he talks about it, there's usually a goal that follows. So the Canadian Wrexham crew is in full effect on this one. That's a lot of fun. So Barrow's got it in the center of the pitch. They knocked it forward, but we collect it. Tom's settling things down and back to the guy who's been everywhere, Mr. Boyle. And that'll go out for a throw. Bickerstaff, quick throw from Palmer. Bickerstaff is up there on the left-hand side, one-on-one. He's waiting. He gets it to Lee. Lee, oh, he tried to drag it past the defender, and it got caught up. That was a smart, quick play of the ball there. Boyle diving header everywhere to keep possession. Another chance. Boyle. O'Connor collecting it and setting things up through the back. Tozer over to Boyle. Uh-oh. A soggy campsite in Wales, UK. Hey, Brent, no worries. I enjoy doing this and learning about the team, the game, the fans. Yeah, you're not allowed to say that. I'm not allowed to be critical of the opponent, and somebody's got to sit in the bog. Those are the three superstitions we've had running, and oddly, they've been working. Like, we're contributing to Wrexham wins here by not doing certain things. So 36 minutes, 12 seconds. Barrow's got it in their own zone, looking to break down. I've seen more, I'm going to call it cheeky play in this one than I've seen by Wrexham, as far as, another turnover. So we're coming the other way. Palmer's got it. Oh, that wasn't Palmer. He's fouled. Free kick. That was O'Connell that was up there. And he got taken out. I did. Full disclosure, I've been looking for a team. My wife is from South Yorkshire. I've been looking for a team in England for 7 years, and couldn't find a team in England. So Wales seems to fit. And being from Canada, there's a lot of connections between Canada, the US, Wales, and England, as I think, as far as, sort of the smaller country, somewhat in the shadows, solid people. And so and a little bit of hatred and a little bit of pissing off the bigger country, right? And in good jest. O'Connor to the right. Boyle's there. Boyle header. Oh! Boyle didn't have a play on it from his position, so he sort of just knocked it and crossed the face of The goalie was out of it, wide open net, and our strikers couldn't. They were racing to get to it and couldn't get to it. Like, smart play by Boyle again. Bickerstaff both. I'm gonna start drinking. Yes. But anyway, to get back into it, yeah, I got into it from the documentary, and then it just all seemed to make sense. And then from there, I'm a stats guy. Like, I love my stats, and so I started doing that with the streams, just sort of on my own, and trying to figure out who we were up against on my own when we were in the National League, and thought, you know what, I'd like to do this, and maybe some people will have some interest in it, and it seems to be working. Oh, and the kids are up, if you can hear them in the background. Part of the other joy of these watch parties. So 38-minute. We've had it in the midfield, kicked it forward, it was kicked out, and we've got another throw in. All right. I won't disrespect. That's fair enough. It'll be interesting. I don't think that we can disrespect going forward, although I don't like Bradford and I don't like Tranmere, and those are our next two opponents. And that's not because of the team. That's because of the fans. I just there's three sets of fans that I find exceptionally annoying, and it's Tranmere, Bradford, and Stockport. So yeah, we were thrown to the ground right there, and no call, and they're coming the other way. We've only got one guy back, but they're spreading out now. We're getting closer to shape. But Boyle, man of the match, there on the header, just to head it away, and Tom O'Connor's able to get it, settle it down, and we're looking to try and go the other way, or at least clear it, and it goes out, and we get the throw in. Mr. Boyle, earn that salary, sir. Holy. Well, that's interesting, Sandy. The Ryan connection to the documentary. See, for me, it was the sport connection. So that's interesting that was certainly there. That was an obvious foul. He just straight up grabbed him around and ripped him to the right side, right? No call. Andrew, it's nice to see you. Was hoping you'd get in here today. So I'm just past the 40-minute mark, long throw in, nothing really happens. Barrow's able to collect it, and they'll come the other way. I can appreciate that. Lee, deep down the left, he gets spotted with a long ball. We're finding open space quite frequently and being found with people who are attentive. And we've done that through throw-ins. We've done that through a couple of kicks from downfield where you don't see anybody developing and somebody goes on a long run. In this case, it was Lee, and they're able to collect it. Good ball to Bickerstaff. Bickerstaff looking, it gets chipped away from him. It'll go for another corner. And again, I think all of our corners have been from the left side. Oh, and I don't have the score up. My mistake. I'll leave that up, and hopefully, or if I hit chat, does it come off? Corner comes in, nothing. Landed sort of at Barrow's feet with lots of members around, and they were able to clear that one away. I've put it up. I don't know why it clicked off. So if it clicks off, I'll have to keep an eye out as to whether that's because I'm chatting or I clicked something on my screen. I thought it was up for the entirety of the time. Oh, I know what it is. It's when I bring a chat in, it kicks it off. 41 minutes, 43 seconds. O'Connell from the right side with a throw in. Lands to the ground. Barrow's got it. They're able to clear up, and they're going to try and break away. Palmer working hard to get it back. Clears all the way back to Howard. My coffee has gone cold. It needs Bailey's in it. Just sort of scrambly play through the midfield right now. And I don't know what the referee did. I don't know what the referee saw there, but oh, and it's we get the free kick. So is it us? I don't know what that call is. The first half could have easily been 5-0. Absolutely could have been. Um, I mean, the Boyle shot, probably the most obvious one, because that was just, there was only one place he could kick it not to score, and he just happened to, and no fault to him, because it's the volley that was there with lots of players around. I don't think he had options, but anywhere else, and it would have been in the back of the net. O'Connor, 43rd minute, he's at the midfield, has to pull it back. He ran into trouble. Does he save it? No, he doesn't. And it's a turnover the other way. Barrow's running. We're coming back. 4 guys. We're still leaking back. Lee gets over there. You know what? Good hustle. Gets back, cleans up. And now we've got men back, and they're setting up through the midfield. We didn't have that against Swindon, did we? Turnovers would happen, and then it just seemed like everything fell apart. But that was a pit bull mentality to get back there. Palmer now tries to get the strip, still with Barrow now. Again, when Barrow has it, their possession stats are there. That's their first attempted shot, and he went completely. Barrow's had their fair. I'll look at the possession stats, but it looks like they've had their fair amount of possession, but absolutely zero threat. They just from the left to the right. Eventually, it gets turned over, and away it comes the other way. Are you talking us with corners? I've actually thought that our set pieces were pretty good, including our corners, Sandy. So, last minute of the half, Bickerstaff gets it. He gets it over to Mendy. Mendy's on the left side. That's a foul outside the box and a yellow card. Just outside the box, which I think was the right call. So Bickerstaff was able to kind of get it. Oh, interesting. Now I'll have a look, because Brendan's usually, you've got an eye for these sorts of things. We'll have to watch the replay. I thought it was outside of the box, but we're going to have it from, what is that, 1.5 feet outside the box, with Young and Ford standing there looking like they're lining up. Let's have a look at this. So Bickerstaff has it, gets it over to Mendy. No, that's outside the box. I've been wrong before. I will be wrong before. But it was close. I think that's one of those ones where I know referees aren't supposed to do this, but where you see the play developing, and you're going to be trying to call that outside of the box, because really it's too far to the left. So 2-man wall. Tom O'Connor and Ford both standing back there. Looks like it's going to be Ford with the right foot. It's over and headed away easy. I've caused a meltdown in the household by keeping the iPad, and so that's now cleared up. And Barrow's got 36 minutes. I missed the injury time announcement, so if anybody has that, I didn't see it come up, and I didn't see it on video. So the broadcasters are saying about 40 seconds, so only 2 minutes in there, it pops up. So that was awkward. You know what? It's been a solid, deep performance. Boyle has been everywhere, and maybe that's the best way to defend things, is to make sure that you gain possession. And Boyle, that's where his strength has been today. He's had that one great tackle, but really, we haven't been under threat that much. Boyle, again, pulling possession down again. It's been us challenging in the midfield, or a little bit closer to our goal, on those long balls, and winning the ball back. We've secured lots of possession that way. So we're looking probably to be at the half, as is par for the course with things. I'm going to take a break during this, and so feel free to stay here and chat. The numbers are up. We're at a 1-0 game. I'll leave that up there for everybody to follow along. Yes, I'm with you. No time wasting on that one. I'm content with that. We should be up by at least 2, maybe 3. I'm curious to see what the expected goals are when we go through the stats. So I'm going to go look at some of the analytics, come on back, and I've got to bring up my little video, and I was having an issue with this. earlier in the day, it wasn't looping. And so we'll see. I'm going to hang around and see if it loops, but I will be back. Enjoy the chit chat, grab your drinks, get the scoreboards. That was a good half. Lee with the penalty. And away we go. So the numbers there took a little bit of a hit during the half. Maybe I'll have to find a way to find somebody who wants to come in. Brendan, maybe. Yeah, it was muted, and we're back. Sorry, guys. Um, Maybe it's Brendan. You take over the halftime show and kind of give an overview review. Somebody else, if you wanted to fill that gap while I run away at the half, that would be advantageous as we learn and experience how to improve this whole process. I put this up, Sam. Thanks for doing that. Sort of as we expected, right? Possession. I think that they've had possession. I had 8 shots on goal on mine stats. I thought when I looked at it, or not shots on goal, but I guess that's what it is. 4 shots on target to their 1, but none of them on target. I think it was 8 total. Sort of how the game has played out through the whole time is they've had a fair amount of possession, but just sort of, as I was saying, going right to left. Interesting. What's up with Doncaster? Their ownership said that they were going to be putting in money beyond what the turnover was to try and improve things. The window's only now what? They got to come up with somebody in 4 or 5 days here before the windows close. Not where I expected Donny to be. I didn't expect them to be at the top, but certainly in the middle. That'll be interesting. It's I don't find them to be as passionate as Wrexham fans or other fans that I've around the league. It's sort of everybody in Doncaster. I hope I don't get grilled for this by anybody who's watching. Happy they have a club, but sort of not invested emotionally, which I don't know why. I haven't put my finger on the pulse of that. So unfortunate there, because I'd like to see them hang around. And it's early days yet, but we'll see where things are at. Analytics, hey, everything's been great as far as the analytics. I appreciate it. I've jumped up like 11 subscribers today. So to those of you who've taken the opportunity to do that, that's awesome. Trying to get to, as I said, the point where I can embed this chat and start to have other things around it, and that requires getting a little bit of ad revenue and earning from the little things that we're doing here. Not going to get rich off of doing this by any stretch, but want to keep feeding sort of the process and improving it. So I appreciate that. If you haven't had a chance to go and subscribe, please go ahead and do that. We'll see. I'm curious to see what if everybody just turned it off and they'll log back in. But we've dropped 20 people. It was that we were at the highest number that we've had of consecutive our current viewers at one time. So the analytics are looking quite positive. And Rexverse, did I get where you were located? Was it also Wrexham? It's interesting. My analytics, there's really 4 countries that are covered that watching all of the videos, not just the lives, but it's the UK predominantly, with, interestingly enough, London with more viewership than Wrexham. And I guess that's a population thing, but interesting to me that so many people from London were watching. And then the US next, with Canada following, Australia behind them. And then I've got some African countries, Nigeria, Kenya, and South Africa, interestingly enough, following along. And surprisingly to me, maybe more was more than the South American crew, because as far as the lives go, we've had a fair amount of South American following, but maybe it's just a split between different countries. So interesting there. Anyway, the first half recap as we were watching, I'm trying to see who's out there. I am curious if Cleworth gets in. That's the person that I'd like to see certainly get in. I'm hoping Bickerstaff and Palmer have been putting in the work rate. So until their legs go and it's necessary to bring in Dalby and or Waters, I'm hoping that they can keep them off. Dalby, I still think has more in him, and I'm hoping he gets a chance to show it while Moles is out. You know, that Bickerstaff has certainly taken the opportunity and run with it, right? But I'd like for him to assert himself a little bit more. But I guess he'll probably get a chance with Waters to do that during the Bradford match, the cup match on Tuesday. I don't know if Mark knows that the audio's live. This is fascinating if you're watching the game. I don't know if they're sort of just talking about Mark's recent holiday to France and I think they know. The pasties. That's a Welsh thing. You go on a holiday and you eat the pasties. Clearworth back, Jordan Davies. Yeah, it'd be nice to get him on the sheet. Max, I think, has a chance. The only reason I say I'd like to see what he has to offer in this current season, this current version of the team, is because I'm not sold on O'Connell as in the back three right at the moment. He's either amazing or there's a horrible giveaway. There's such a swing in his game that just for consistency reasons, I'd like to know what if there is an alternative option. So we're getting ready to start here. We're going to have possession again. Wrexham's going to be going from left to right on your computer screen. Barrow from right to left. Empty stands are a big gap there, at least at some point, and away we run. That and beans on toast. I just don't get it. I don't get it. And yes, I've had the British beans, and I still don't get it. But then they mock me for Clamato juice in my beer. Uh, and I get it. How do you explain what Clamato juice is, either in a Caesar with gin or otherwise? So so let's see how things settle in to start off. We've cleared ahead, and Barrow's going to get a throw in just 30 seconds into the second half. I haven't heard that Davies was hurt, but you don't hear about the knocks. If I have two criticisms of English football, um, it's the injury reports and the lack of them. In North American sports, you always know how long people are out, the expected time that they're out. You have to put people on long-term injured reserve, and you can get a benefit if you do that, as far as your salary cap and all that sort of stuff. So the details are out there. Um, it's cloak of darkness sort of stuff when it comes to English football and the salaries. I like to know. Great. You went and got a player, but it cost you $500,000 to go and get them. Yeah, I think there's a yellow card coming. Yeah, O'Connell's going to get one. But yeah, going back to it, just term of the contract, value of the contract, what the transfer fee was, the details. You'd like to get that information beyond sort of the cloak of darkness stuff, or at least I would, because how can you assess how well somebody's performing if you don't know um, how much it's costing the team to have them there and what the term is? So O'Connor collects it, gets it back to Howard, and just off one touch, a long thump down the field. Barrow's able to get there, and fortunate for them that they were, because Bickerstaff was up there searching. Free kick to Barrow, sort of a battle over the ball on the left side. Tozer with a header away. O'Connor just collects it, beats a guy, gets it ahead to Bickerstaff. He's outnumbered by two guys, falls to ground, and Barrow gets it. Three guys running right down the middle. We've got lots of people back. They're able to find somebody. Oh, O'Connell sort of misplayed the tackle, but just knocked the ball enough that they had to resettle. Barrow's now got it, and we'll see if they are able to get a little bit more direct than they were in the first half, because they had this sort of possession the entire game, but just sort of kicking it around the back, and they're doing that again. Free kick. Just on the entry of the first third from the far right corner. That was Palmer hustling to try and get involved and took it down. Poutine is royalty. And if you didn't know, Sandy, there's a poutine in Leeds that's not bad. Knocked down. Barrow played it back out to the right side, looking again to try and get a cross in. Mendy with good pressure like that to make sure that the cross doesn't get in. And they're back midfield in a good ball back, and they've kicked it forward, but not much on that right foot. Yeah, I had the details. It's near the brambles, the shambles, the brambles. It's near there. They've got a food court or something, or they did at least pre-COVID when I was there. So I'm maybe I should just hope that they survived the downturn. Yeah, McLean and Hayden, I'd love to get back. I still don't know where McLean slots in. On the left-hand side, is he pulling out one of the midfielders up there? Because I think it's him over Mendy. Wrexham's just it's the biggest thing for me is the little things. And the little things that I've noticed is that we have been bulldogs on the ball throughout the pitch and able to gain possession through, in any third. Not quite at will. So Ford gets a deflection, is able to collect it and hammers it, but it doesn't go forward. So Barrow's going to collect it and try to clear. Sort of a missed kick that almost went to Bickerstaff. And it's cleared out by O'Connell under pressure, and so Barrow's going to get it, and away they come. Caesar, nice to see you. I got to bring the score up, don't I? So 50 minutes, 40 seconds, Barrow's got on the right side. Possession again, equal, I think, so far the second half. And I'd like to see the narrative continue of Barrow just not getting it into the box, not really anything of threat. And even when they do get that threat, that right-footed kick, there was nothing to it. It wasn't an issue to deal with it. Shambles is York, that's right. I forget. It was a food truck. Or not a food truck. They have a food truck, but they had a restaurant as well. I'll have to look it up for Sandy when I get offline. Well, here they've got a chance now. Aqua right in the middle. Get right foot scores. We've seen that again from the center, right? So sort of fortunate bouncing to Aqua, but as soon as he had it, he was clinical with it. He had O'Connell to beat, and he pushed it to the right-footed, and went up into the top right goal. I don't think that Howard wasn't getting to that one at all. That was the ongoing challenge that we have had with the ball, and when it gets right in front of the box, and it's the same move, one direction and kick, and they've got it. And so it reached up there. They had the build up, kick through, lands on Aqua. He takes a nice good one touch facing forward. O'Connell leaving a little bit of distance as far as the gap is concerned, and I don't know if that's full respect to Aqua's speed, but it was basically Aqua, O'Connell, and O'Connell. To be fair, Aqua didn't make much of a move. I think O'Connell thought he was going to just continue on with the play, and so I guess that means I've got to change this now, and that is unfortunate given the run of play so far. And I'm hoping we can do something to wake up and get into it, because we deserve better than a 1-1 scoreline. 52 minutes, 45 seconds in. Because I think that is their first shot on goal. And again, not criticizing Howard at all, because that shot was to the top right corner and on a full stretch, and he was going the right way and read it, and nobody would have got to that one. But it was O'Connell, I think, maybe read that he was going to continue to his left and got over too far, and by the time he stopped, Aqua didn't even have to make a move to the right because O'Connell kind of given him the space. So Barrow again, middle of the box, hammered. Went wide. Howard's going to get a goal kick. That was probably about Spence with the kick. Went about a foot and a half wide, sort of the same thing. That one was a deflection and then a deflection again, and Spence came in and cleared it up. And that was Tozer in front that was able to kind of set enough of a block that he ended up having to go right. Barrow with the throw in on the right. So Barrow's picked up their game. Not only just with the possession, but they're coming forward. That's a good eye, Dave. I wasn't following along back far enough to find out exactly what happened. I'll follow that for the post game follow up and have a look at that. Well, it seems to be that we get backpedaling more when we should be closing gap, right? When the gap that you end up giving attackers is greater when they're further away from the box, but when they get close to the box, you got to be getting closer. I mean, I don't think O'Connell had full time to react with how fast the pace developed. But here's a free kick in. Lee's scrapping for the ball. He's at the edge of the box. He's still got it. He's in the penalty box. 3 guys around him. Nice little move with the right to dance around him. Gets it back to Young. Young hammers it, and it's way over top. Santiago, you've got to go to iFollow and watch it, or find a dodgy stream. That's the only place to go to watch Wrexham matches. And if you want it here, I'll put it up on the bottom. I'll change my. I've got it actually. Scroll below. You can go to that website. It'll cost you, unfortunately, halfway through the match. I think it's 10 quid for a single match. But you have to go that way or find a dodgy stream. I don't have another option. Well, it's interesting, Brent, because of how often it's been happening this year. I've started to look at how do they coach center backs and all that sort of stuff as far as the gap control is concerned. And when you watch it, you're like, yeah, we don't do that. We don't close as they're getting close. So, all right, let's Donnie. Not only because MK Dons is ahead of us, but I at least want them to get out of the relegation zone. That's my only goal with Doncaster at the end. So Barrow again, Mendy's got it, and he's able to clear it forward. Does Bickerstaff get to it? No, but he frees it up, and Palmer's able to run forward by himself, get it over to Bickerstaff on the left. Oh, he gets pulled down. That's a card. No card? Oh, he's got the card out. We had Palmer at full. They called it stampede on the headline at full sprint, and Bickerstaff on his left. If he could have just got around White, I anticipate the play would have been over to Bickerstaff because Palmer had one guy to beat, and they just pulled him down, and that's yellow. So. Yeah, so they're playing the replay, and you can see White chasing on Palmer. Palmer's got him. Yeah, he's just grabbing him the whole way through, and one guy to beat afterwards. It's the right play to make if you're the defender. O'Connor gets it over to Lee. Well, he just booked O'Connor for playing it before the whistle. That's unnecessary. Like, if you want him to retake it. Worst case scenario, give over possession. But why are you giving a card for that? So O'Connor is going to go straight through on the right-hand side. Barrow's got it. Forward on the right-hand side. Gets his guy in the air. Cross into the box. Lots of bodies there. Mendy in front of the box. Down the left side, he's searching, trying to find something. He's going to come back with it, and we're going to recycle and reset. Andrew, while you're waiting for your connection to improve, go sit in the bog. Throw in now for Ford, probably out of range for Tozer, especially with the short sidelines. Played back. Ford's got it. Another headed out. We'll have another throw in about 4 feet closer to our goal than we had it before. I've been okay with Bickerstaff, not as positive as his other matches, but I won't object to Dalby coming in for him. Waters coming in for Palmer later, maybe the 80th minute when you need some legs. Stretched it out, rolled helplessly to the Barrow goaltender, and away Barrow comes down the right side. Oh, giveaway! A foul to us. Not a card, but I thought we got to the ball first. Mark agrees with me. I Yeah, I hate when referees try to become part of the narrative. Um, like, what's the consequence of that early one? You blew it down, and they have to restart, right? It's scold them, admonish them. You know, if you think it's egregious and it's happened multiple times, okay, fine. Yeah, Lee got there first. I don't see how that's a foul, but it is what it is. So it's Barrow's going to have it midfield. Barrow player still down, and Dolby is warming up. So I assume that's going to be for Bickerstaff. Yeah, it happened so fast, and EOC was running to his left, and I don't think, like, in my head, just watching him, I think he thought he was going to continue, and what he did was he gave him his stronger foot. I don't think it was letting the guy get there. It was a first touch with the left and onto his right, and then away. And EOC positionally had gotten too far, continued on, and it certainly works. Swindon scores again, making it 4. They're certainly rolling up the goals, aren't they? Throw in from Barrow, deep down. Boyle is there. Mendy's got it now, and a long ball searching for Palmer, but it gets beat. But Lee's there to collect. He advances it forward. Barrow, it's sort of them heading it away, us getting possession in the midfield, searching it down, headed away, collecting it again. And now Ford's got it on the right side. Long, nice ball to Bickerstaff. Oh, lost it. That wasn't a good first touch from Bickerstaff. But we've got it again after the clear. O'Connell's got it right side, space with Ford to his right. Is he going to take him? He's suggesting he goes further back. He gets it. O'Connell back. O'Connor. Lee finds Young. Bickerstaff. No, now we'll reset it over to the left side on Mendy. Mendy taking his guy on. Drags it back. O'Connor's getting over. Mendy's all on his own in a battle. Gets it across, flat ball. Does it go for a corner? Nope, they're able to clear. No, Caesar, sorry, nothing on this definitive timeline for Mullen's return. Sub coming in for Barrow. 62nd minute. Elliot Newby in for David Worrell. So that's going to be a center back position, or at least in their back line. Here comes the Tozer throw from the far left side, heading towards the right goal. Far left side, up into the box. Headed away, we're going to get a corner. And you'll have to tell me, I'm at 62 minutes, 45 seconds. Let me know how far I am behind if I need to hit a refresh button on things. So Young now, again, it's going to come from the left side with the corner. And so right in front of the Wrexham fans. It is a nice stadium with the ocean in the background there. Corner headed away. I don't feel like the corners are going to be a threat because of how strong these guys are with their aerials. Another hammered in with the longer headed away, and we'll get another corner. Let's go. Let's get into this. Luke Young again from the left side. I'll take 10 seconds. Luke Young, middle of the box, another clear, another header clear. Mendy tries to hammer one, but I don't know what he was doing with that. Mark says he's nearly cleared the stand behind the goal. He was way up, tried to volley, hammered it, and just gave up possession. I don't know what he was trying to do when he swung on that one. Yes, I was aware that he's getting light training, as Jennifer says and Mark says, but I no ETA announced. Palmer reaching out with a little jersey tug there as Barrow's now got it. 64 minutes, 15 seconds, and Barrow with possession. Long ball down, goes out, and Wrexham gets possession. Hey, Colchester of all teams. Colchester gets the first game in what, 4.5 against Wynnum? Oh, we'll take it. They're calling the handball. I saw it come up. Um, Way too far down, and it's going to roll. Bickerstaff's trying to get there. Not the same chances, not the same push towards goal that we had in the first half. I mean, I think it's unfortunate we've had what, 4, 5, 6 solid chances for goals, and we've only got one to show for it. And Barrow scores on really their only chance. That is the beautiful game, I guess. That's interesting, Caesar. I actually think that Bickerstaff was better in the last couple of games. I mean, I don't think he's been quite as strong this one, but I actually moved Bickerstaff ahead of Ollie on my depth chart as far as the strikers go up front. So 66th minute now, Barrow just sort of with it in the back. They were complaining about us time wasting, and I mean, for them, it's just been batting it about. It goes back to their goalkeeper, and they've got it again. This is what you'd expect with a team with a lead. Yes, Gail, we do know. I'm all for the coming on strong, and you're absolutely true. It's absolutely true that we are a better second half team. So hoping we find it, and might have to. It's interesting. Parkey normally does subs at the 60th minute, and I think he was getting some criticism on Twitter for being too predictable. And now it's waiting. I actually think a single sub to come in here and give some legs up front would be helpful. Probably Bickerstaff, given how he's gone. Okay, the ref doesn't lets that play go, so Barrow's got it, but they turn it over and Wrexham has it, and we're now turning it deep down the field. Bickerstaff fighting with the center back to try and get the ball, unsuccessful in doing so, but Mendy comes and clears up. No. Oh, he gave us one. I don't think that was a foul, but I will take it. Mendy sort of collected the ball, and he was running so far forward just because of the way he knocked it down. The ball was behind him, and so he ended up giving a little flip somersault over. I don't think he was made contact with. I think it was just a byproduct of him knowing he was losing the ball and maintain possession. Moricom gets a red card. Tozer searching now in the middle of the pitch. Palmer gets it up to Boyle, and Boyle misses on that kick, and so it rolls back through to the goaltender. No, not Barrow. Not in the Barrow game. Not in our game, Jennifer. That's in the Moricom, and I don't know who they're playing, to be fair, at the moment. Barrow with the ball. They've got numbers flooding forward. We're running back. They've made it entered into the first third. They're next to the penalty goal on the right side, the box. Searching. Good interplay between the three of them. Howard runs out and collects that one. Little bit of a trip over. 17th. Useful ball. Palmer's got space. If the goalkeeper doesn't get it, the keeper comes out and gets it. That was a good searching ball that came from, I don't know what their backline was doing there, but completely let that one roll. And Palmer was there. Barrow's got it through the midfield. I just think that we've lost our legs a bit. Ball was up to Aqua O'Connell, nice and tight on that one, able to get that one away. But Barrow's able to retain possession, and they go down the right towards the box looking for a cross. Boyle's out there challenging, puts it through. Oh, and they call that as a foul. So he pushed it through Boyle's legs, and Boyle was a little slow to turn, and the Barrow player took an opportunity to run through him and went to ground. And so not a card or anything, but they will be 4 feet from the box on the right-hand side. Left arm, and he swung around, kind of got him too. I just think it's legs. That bulldog mentality is not there to gain the possession. When you start stealing possession all over the field and nicking it, you've got more opportunity to pull through. So Aqua's coming out. Is this Telford going to come in and get his chance with Barrow? The new guy? That looks like Telford from the videos. So, and Bickerstaff is going off. So I didn't see who Dalby came in for, or Bickerstaff. And there we go. Dalby now running in. So let's hope that's some legs up front. We're the only draw. See, and I hate that. I want every other team to have draws. The extra points are just murder. Headed down. That was a long ball to the far post, but Barrow was able to get it. We clear, and Barrow now with the throw in. It's been a lot of Barrow possession here for a while. Barrow's got it into the box. Howard comes, he claims, and away it goes. It's interesting looking at that end. It looks like there's like industrial buildings on just outside the property of the stadium, and they've all got windows set up there. I assume that those are some industrial offices, and not stadium related based on the fence that's there. Great way to go and watch a match. I still have faith, but I do want to see some possession. Jennifer, I'm with you. I do think that the 3 points is there for the taking, but we've got to get some confidence, some possession with the ball going forward. As Barrow's just got it again back to the midfield and over, and they're setting up shop. Get up there and put some pressure on Sam. There we go. Sam gets up there, pressure. Young had the pressure on the other side. Barrow's got it on the far right, and they'll just chip it back, and they'll go back to the goalkeeper. Just possession, possession, possession. So Barrow now to the right side, still not in our half. Long ball over, but sort of a useless ball. Howard's got it. Now let's settle this down. Let's build up play. Let's keep some possession, and let's find some pressure. So Tozer walking it forward down the middle of the pitch. Gets it over to Boyle. Left side, Tozer. Searching. O'Connor. Tozer. O'Connor. That's got it. Oh, no. No free kick. So I guess that's a turnover. That's a bad call, ref. You've been calling it so soft on things, and then that one you let go. Header. Howard called on to make a save. Wow. All off of what the hell was that? Howard with the save, it out, but this entire run of play is off of a shoulder charge that ended up going to O'Connor that the referee just kind of waved away and let him play. And so Barrow took the ball. And to be fair, I think they expected there to be a foul and long searching ball or post. Jeepers. Can I? So that was tough with the shoulder charge on O'Connor in the middle of the pitch. And I'm not looking for a card, but that was certainly a foul. And nothing called, and everybody slowed for a second until the referee kind of went, "Wait, wait." And as soon as that happened, it was on Barrow's feet and the way they were running. So long throw into the box, sort of popped up straight up from O'Connell, popped up straight up by Barrow. Jeepers, how somebody clear it. It's smashed away down the left side. What is happening? Nobody played to the whistle, to be fair, Andrew. I'm going to watch that one on the replay, but it looked to me just on first instance that everybody on the pitch sort of stopped. And now they blow this one down and give them a free kick for the same thing that was on the other side. And that's exactly, I don't have to read lips and I didn't have to, his back or couldn't, his back was to us. But that was Luke saying, you didn't call it over there. Oh, and a card came out for the chirping. What is happening here? Somebody got a card. So then we're complaining about it and we got carded. Maybe it wasn't a card. I heard Mark say there was a card. I haven't seen the graphic come up. I don't know who got it, but Tozer had to come out and have a long conversation, and the referee sort of saying, "Settle it down." Certainly, there was some chirping. So Barrow's got it. That was a block. Hit Young in the head. He's out. It's gone for a corner, and I think they're going to do a head check on that one because he was relatively close, jumping through the air. No, he's fine. So left-hand corner, 75th minute, 45 seconds. Oh man, what it is it's just the Bulldog possession. The referee with now two calls that have gone against us that have given possession to Barrow, and it's them coming at us. Long ball in, headed away. That was a nice header by O'Connell. Ford's able to clear it, and he just punches it out for a Barrow throw-in. Yeah, I think we need the legs in, so I'm okay with Billy coming in. I'm okay with Max coming in. I don't want to change our midfield, and they probably need some legs, but I don't want to change the midfield. So Mendy's there to take the header from the throw in, and Dalby's up there with four guys on him, but he's able to maintain possession. Young's got it. He collects out to the right. This is good little build up. Gets it over to Ford. O'Connor. And that was all Dalby just pitbulling it again, right? Young over to O'Connor. We've got them running all over the place. Numbers on the left-hand side. Lee down the left gets it over to Mendy. Let's do something here. One guy to beat. He's looking. Lee's over to help him out. Lee's got it now in front of the box. O'Connor playing with it. Gets it up to Lee. Lee through his legs and possession turned over. Not much happened there, although that was enterprising. I will take that. That's a step up from what we've done for the entirety of the second half that hopefully we can build off of as Barrow looks to build up down the right-hand side. That was a wasted kick up the field, and Tozer's able to collect it back to Howard. And let's do this again. Let's get into it. I'm looking at Young's shoulder, and I think Tozer's wearing the band. Mendy down the left side into the box. No corner. No corner. They're searching for it. Luke's screaming and yelling. I'm trying to find who's actually wearing the captain's armband because I don't see it on Luke and I didn't see it on Tozer. So it just could be that it's too similar. Mendy tried to get it to Dalton. Rolled through. There might have been a touch. Colchester scores again. What's the score in that Colchester Gillingham game then? Yeah, Dalby arguably should have been scoring there. I'll give you that. High ball to the midfield. Lee's sitting there. Dalby You know what? Pitbull on the ball, gain possession. I like that. Forward on the right. Numbers are advancing forward. Ford stops. Young, Ford, back to O'Connell at the midfield, and we're going to reset things here. Manny, I forget your name. Manu goated, sorry. Forward down the right side, outside of the penalty box. Back to O'Connell. Flicks it in a little bit. Young's got it. Back to O'Connell. He's looking into the penalty box. Dalby couldn't get there. That's not Worrell because he just came out, but I think that's their elder center back, who had the craziest stats I've seen on a center back. Sort of pitched that away. So Barrow throw just on our side of the midfield. 70.5 minutes. Man, this second half is just minutes have been chewed up. Palmer is able to steal that bad first touch, but gives it away. We need the possession, guys. We will earn a throw, so let's take it. I want to say 2 on us, but we've had certainly more chances total game, but the second half hasn't been looking as solid. But I'm hoping just the one sub for us so far, coming up to the 80th minute. And there's, just as I say that, it comes through the headsets. There needs to be a substitution. Parky went the opposite way. You don't like me sub everybody in on the 60th minute. I just won't sub in anyone then. Anybody up on the sideline? It's just legs. It's just legs. Like we've had some possession. We're rolling through. We've got it now. O'Connor's nice run over to Lee. Flick it over. Flick it over. Oh, he couldn't read behind him. Lee. Dalby on that touch. I need to see the replay because, God, this referee's been so soft. If Lee knew that there was somebody behind Dalby's there, okay, I can get it. Dalby had enough on the back of his shoulder and in the box, you can't do that. But that was Dalby. Well, Brandon, you don't agree. I didn't agree until I saw the replay where he did have a pretty good handle on the right of his jersey. It's just unfortunate there if Lee had eyes in the back of his head. I don't know who was behind him, but had all the space in the world on the inside of the box. And he went to the right instead of the left and would have continued on. Would have been dangerous. So now it's Barrow down right side, and they're on into the penalty area looking for a cross. Mendy's there, able to clean up, collect. Well done. Gets it forward. Rolls too far past Palmer, and Barrow's going to get it and collect it, set things up. 81 minutes, 40 seconds. Farman gets it. He's got it. Sending it back. Boyle just steps in front. Well, good job for Boyle. Dalby chasing. The goalie's way out. Pumps it away. Is that going to go for a throw? No, just settles down for us to gain possession. Boyle. Looking. Palmer back to O'Connor. Back to Boyle. Tozer's slid in now into the center. It looks like Boyle might be cramping. And we do have somebody up. Ben can't see as things are rolling. Tozer gets it back to Howard. 82 minutes, 30 seconds. I'm with you, Andrew. Although, yeah, when we've got to finish, I mean, there was the Bickerstaff attempt on the one that Boyle had across the face that I want to look at in the first half that I think that we missed. Man, the Boyle goal, the very first shot on goal, I don't know how that one didn't go in. So, whoa. Bad clearance. I don't know what O'Connor did there. Jumped in the air and then realized he shouldn't be in the air to collect that ball and tried to get his feet down. It just looked awkward. The frustration of football. Yes, Andrew, you're exactly right. Colchester with 3. Colchester is playing, right? the hell happened there? That's wow. So Barnett's on for Ford, which I guess you've got to do something. And I don't want to change the midfielders. I actually think that they've looked solid and continue to look solid. To me, it's Max as another option to come in the center. Good ball down. Dalby's up there by himself, all alone, left hand side. Palmer racing too far. Dalby too strong. Dalby. Ugh. That was so Dalby went down, had all the time in the world, but was closed off, and he couldn't have made the play by himself. So he's looking to make the pass, and he makes the pass, and it gets through, but it's way too hard, way too solid, and Palmer's not able to get to it, so it's wasted. Um, we do have possession again. Boyle's got it now. Yeah, we did. That was a blown opportunity. Palmer tries to get it back and maintain possession, but Boyle's not able to do. Boyle's cramping. Like that's another. I didn't want to take. That's got to go to us. That so we'll have a free kick just from our side of, or sorry, their side of the midfield. Lots of people up there. Lee's going to take this one right foot, flat ball. Dalby's got it on the outside of the box. Barrow sticks a foot to it, but Lee collects it. Lee right in front, hammers. Ooh. I want to know how far that went wide, because it's hard from this angle to know exactly how far that went, but it had the pace and the goaltender wasn't there. Ooh, misplayed, but Palmer sort of stutter stepped and it rolled to the goalkeeper. I don't know what that was. It was a so 86th minute, 1-1. Headed away, let it roll out. We'll get more possession. I'm liking this now. We've got the possession. We're on the front foot. We're coming forward. Now, Andrew, I don't know what the term Garrick is. And that's something I'm going to have to look up. And yeah, both Sandy and Brendan were saying that we needed to put it to bed when we had all those chances in the first half. And it comes to be the case, doesn't it? Chest it down. Play on, play on. Tom O'Connor's got it over to Lee, left side. Numbers got Mendy over there through the legs. Mendy's into the penalty box, looking back to Lee. Ooh, that was a really good interception. But to be fair, I thought that was a good pass and was going to have Lee there. Lee takes him out. And that's going to be a free kick the other way. That's part of the fun, isn't it, Ted? And I don't know if you're religious and I have to call you Father Ted or if that's just a nickname. But another harsh yellow off to Canavan. This referee likes to get involved in the narrative. Oh, and that was to Canavan from way back in the play there when he was playing advantage and let it go forward. Oh, Telford tried to draw it forward, and if he could have, he would have been alone. Sort of fortunately misplayed it more than it was defensive. So Luke Young gets it, hammers it out of the box, straight up in the air and out. I would have. I like clearances when you're in trouble, but if you're not in trouble, I'd like to settle it down. And I think Mendy had the opportunity there to do something other than just pump it up in the air. So long throw in for Barrow from the right side, 88th minute, header in. I think that was Tozer who cleared that. Barrow far left. Ooh, Howard comes and collects and had to. Ball rolled out by Howard, and here we go trying to build up through things. Barnett far right. That's a good ball. Put him under pressure. That and did he kick that out? No, curls back into play. O'Connell's there. Flick forward to try and get Barnett to run up onto it. Oh, he kept that in. He kept that in. That's good work. Round two, got a corner. So corner from the right side. You know what? Put a little check mark by that one, a little asterisk for Barnett, because that looked like going out of play, and he kind of it almost seemed accidental, like a little cheeky, like, can I get there in time? And was able to save it. And by doing that, beat the defender who thought it was going to go out and only had one guy left to make it all the way down there and force this one. And we've got Canavan down for Barrow with a cramp. Is that who number 8 is? So is that Tom taking this one? I can't tell from the, I'm trying to guess from the hair because I can't tell from anything else. Left-footed. That was a good one. Too close to the goal on that one. 89th minute, 41 seconds. We're getting to the point where this is going to happen. It's got to happen now, soon enough. So Tom here with another left footer. Distance. I like the height on that one. Just a little bit further away from the box. We're entering the 90th minute. I haven't seen. We'll get the injury time. They were late in the first half. We'll see if they're late here. 90th minute. Here it comes. Left-footed. Way too far, but goal kick. 6 minutes. Let's get one. They are not motivated to go quickly, are they? Oh, well, the Barrow guy to kick it back to the keeper, but the keeper, he's happy to get his draw in this one, I think. He's waving away, taking his time, setting it up. This is what you'd expect when you've got the lead going. Oh, Telford with it. He's got a man there. Oh, well done by Luke to get back and intercept that one. So Mendy's got it left side. Oh, that's an easy free kick. Play it. Play it. Back to Howard. Minute and a half of injury time spent of the 6 minutes. Howard's looking. Long ball down the left side. Lee's not able to get his head on it, but Tom's there to back him up. So we've got possession now at the halfway line. McAlinden for Boyle and go 4-3-3. Sure. Lee's got it. Middle. Gets it over to the right side. Barnett's over there, I'm assuming. Yep. Barnett cross. That's deflected. Out for a goal. Out of goal for a corner. 2 minutes spent. Lee's putting in the time. Lee is everywhere. Like that entire play, he was the first up to get the header, missed it, was able to scramble and pick it up in the midfield in the center, and then push it over to Barnett. Prove me wrong, Wrexham. Somebody run to the bog. Sandy, go to the bog. If somebody goes to the bog, it's going in. Another spare ball comes into the pitch. Two and a half minutes. See, that took 30 seconds to set that up. O'Connor, deep, just curled out of play. Tell me I'm wrong, but I'd like to see those further away, unless you're actually going to try and put it into the net. His corners so far today, the last 3, have just been too close to the keeper. Yeah, that's what Brendan, I agree. I don't think that ball went out of the stands. That's why I don't know why it came out, because the ball was sort of knocked, I thought, and fell in behind, and we collected that ball and went to go and play it. So I don't know where that second ball came from. Tom steals the ball. Good job, O'Connor. Barnett on the right side. Got to get it to the left because they've got massive numbers on the right side as Barnett's just dancing to keep possession and does. But we've had to go back in order to do that. 3.5 minutes. Palmer spins down the right side, looking to get it in, flicked forward, sort of, I think, unintentionally. So now we've got it. Dalton gets it over to Mendy, looking to cross, looking to take on his guy. Second guy comes cross in, way too far. Easy save. Yeah, that was a waste. Come on, guys. Zero right foot. I thought that was his left. Whatever it was, he just scooped it into the into the, like that was to nobody and nowhere. Sound- But you know what? Defensively, this was a much better game. Other than the O'Connell mistake, we've been in control. We've gained possession. I've seen a lot more positives. What's weird about this one is we found goals at our feet elsewhere, and in this game, we didn't find any goals. Um, you know, Andrew, I think, said it best. It's the first game where he feels like he misses Mullins, and I think Mullen, and I think that's exactly the circumstance here. Is we've played well in this one. We've played good enough to win in this one. We deserve to have the 3 points for this one. Where even the last one, even when we came back, I don't think we deserved to have the win. So we're 5 minutes, 10 seconds. Barrow's got possession, and they're sort of just kicking it around. They have no interest in. Oh, that's a good ball, though. Barrow's got it now up towards the penalty line. Luke's able to come back, and EOC is able to bail it out. We've had to kick it away under pressure, and now Barrow's got it on the left-hand side. Another chip. EOC's there. Okay, let's turn this. Barnett, you got it. Break this, Tom. Too close. Trying to maintain possession. Able to find and kicked it out. Kicked it out. Possession's actually for us 52-4. Shots are 12-4. Shots on target 4-2. Passes are equal. It's just the chances. It's just the chances. So we're at past 6 minutes. There might be some extra time here. Whoa, weird deflection. Keep this going. Keep this going and don't give the referee an opportunity. We're going to get one more kick at the cat here. Lee looking down, left side. Give it to Mendy. Tries to lead it through, bumps into a body, rolls out. I'm going to expect that he might blow this down now on the throw in. And that is it. Ugh. There's things to take away from this one. I don't know if you're with me, and like to me, this one I felt positive about as far as our play, our actual on-field play, our possession, our attack. We just didn't have the finish in this one. I think we deserved a better outcome. Lee's giving him the business. Parky's out there giving the referee the business. I'm gonna just watch this for a second. Parky and Lee's separated. Oh, Parky just got a yellow. There was a lot of this, and probably deserved. You know what? As a lot of the soft play, we gave up possession twice there, just solely because of the referee and the unnecessary yellow card to O'Connor there in the middle of things doesn't make any sense to me. Hey, while I still have everybody here, subscribe button down below on YouTube. Give it a click, give it a shot, so that we can hopefully do the things that we want to do with this and embed things. Had the highest numbers of consecutive viewers that we've had on any game this one. I haven't checked the analytics, but this was a lot of fun. Again, yeah, RKO, I didn't notice the referee until the sort of the 10, 15 minutes into the second half. And then what happened was he started to get a little bit off with how he was going to call the soft touches, the soft contact that was happening. He gave them one in the corner. Tom O'Connor, he didn't give one and gave them a chance. Then they went the other way and they called a foul against us in a very similar circumstance. And that's when Luke started to get into it. Tozer had to come out and get into it. So I need to come over and convince the wife. I'm trying. I'm looking at Easter because Easter's the best way to sell it to the kids that we should go over to the grandparents. So I'm hoping to get over there for I think it's Mansfield the weekend before, and then in Doncaster away. So hey, we take the point. What is that? 4 um, without undefeated. We haven't lost on the road, but we need to start putting together some 3-point wins here, or we're just going to get stuck in that middle. And especially with so many teams taking 3 points, especially with so many teams taking 3 points. So looking forward to watching the highlights on this one and putting things together because there's some plays that happened that I want to have another look at. Some of the calls, especially. But I'm just looking at that goal, Andrew, from Aqua again. Um, and it's yeah, I think that's just O'Connell just assumed it was going to go to the right, and when it got stopped up by Aqua, he was already out of possession. So Brent, you're more than welcome. Long, I don't know if you were there for the first half. The second half, definitely true that we weren't attacking until the 10th minute. Our second half was not what we normally see from Wrexham. We need McLean or McLean, depending on how you want to pronounce it. But Long, just to get back to it, we held the pressure and had the chances in the first. We just didn't connect. I want to see that ball across the face from the Boyle header. I want to see the Boyle kick. For me, man of the match was Boyle. Uh, Mark says Lee. And then they went with Ollie Palmer. So they go with Palmer and Lee for man of the match. I'm going to go with Boyle. I mean, I'm curious to see his stats, and he just had so much reclaimed possession over and over and over and over again, especially in the first half. Uh, would have liked for him to have been able to get a better right volley on that ball first kick because he had some time, he had some space, and he ended up pumping it right into the goalie's chest. But uh, away points. You take away points, you take 3 at home. Unfortunately, we've given away 3 at home, so that means we've got to go start to earn some elsewhere. We're home to Bradford Tuesday. We need to get a word on how we're going to watch that game on Tuesday, if at all. I don't think it's televised, and as a consequence, it's not on DAZN. Not being on DAZN, I may end up having to try and pick up the audio and see how that goes. But it'll be hard to describe exactly what's happening. We're just going to be chatting aimlessly, as it were. Yes, Andrew, I've got that. And then we're back for Tranmere early start for us, which is painful. 4 o'clock in the morning. I guess I'll be up for that one next Saturday. Also on the road, so we've got an opportunity here to set ourselves up straight for September, which is a little bit lighter, I think, on the schedule. It's not on TV as it's a cup game, and I think, Sandy, if cup games aren't televised on iFollow, unless they're televised, or even the televised ones, you have to go on to Zone Canada or ESPN Plus. So if it's not on TV, I think it's going to be audio only, and that's going to hurt. But it is what it is. Tuesday cup game, not through iFollow. And because it's not on TV in the UK, it won't be picked up by DAZN or ESPN. The frustrating reality, I guess. Gail, thanks for joining in the chat. Jennifer for contributing. W&G for adding the scores as we go through things. Yeah, I don't know how it'll be on ESPN Plus. If nobody in the UK is televising it, then how does ESPN elect to pick it up? I'm going to go to DAZN while we're here because last time it had the Wrexham game up there, and I'm going to see what they've got for the EFL Cup being on DAZN as it loads. The old-fashioned way. Hot Stove Radio. SHAUN is how my name's spelled, but I don't get critical about it. It's misspelled all the time. When people spell it SHJON, I get a little curious as to how they thought that was going to happen. I'm just bringing up Wrexham on DAZN to see if they're going to have it. Yeah, nothing on watch, nothing on matches. League Cup. And if I go to the EFL League Cup, I don't understand how a professional league could end up not having their games available, even if you have to have shoddy AI like streaming. Um, but you know what? If it is going to be on ESPN Plus and it's not on DAZN, then Brendan, if you're still here or somebody in the US, I'm happy to sit and produce in the background while somebody else talks about the game. But I think it is going to be the Salford Leeds game or whatever Sky picks up to cover the EFL Cup. Then that's what I think gets distributed to DAZN and ESPN. This is a new experience being new into League Two, and we'll have to figure it out as we go through it. But Brendan, John, whoever's out there, feel free to send me a message on Facebook or through Twitter, and let me know if you see that it's there and being streamed. But it looks like ESPN is the Salford Leeds one, which it's not going to be their ESPN's choice. They're just defaulting to what's available to them. So curses to us for not getting the coverage, although we've had our fair share. But I'm going to EFL Cup. Yeah, it's just that's how it's going to be. So again, thanks for this one. That was a blast. I'm going to have to remember we've added a number of states and countries. We added Belgium. We added a couple of states, and I'm going to have to remember them. So I'll go ahead and do that. Yeah, and Sandy, I'm with you. It's usually the bigger teams, but we're a bigger team now, right? That's why we got covered on the first one. So it's fine. Let's get through Bradford. That's the goal with our reserves. I think we have to have 4 or 5 that started in this match start in that one. And Jennifer, thank you. I appreciate that a lot. I'm loving doing this. I was talking to Sandy during the half and just said, this is something that I'm really starting to get into more and more as I'm doing it. I see big things for this. I'm hoping that you guys continue to watch and log in. I'm hoping we can get the numbers in there. I would love to be able to get the embedded chat where we actually have the stats and the table, and it's updated accordingly on one site. So everybody, I have the website. It needs some work because I've been focusing on this, but I'd like to get out there. And no, John, Boston is not the greatest sports city in the world, and if that offends Brendan, I'll have to say it twice. Vancouver Canucks fan, so I hate the Bruins because of 2011, and it's just going to irk me. Yeah, tweet Rob. I don't know if the team can do anything. That's part of the rights. Part of the rights is we're getting money from television distribution, and Sky Sports can choose how they want to do it, and they've decided not to elect to choose us. Get through round 2 and let's get a good draw in round 3. Everton away would be really nice, or something fun like that, and then we'll get our chance to be on. So anyway, I know people are going to say this was an average day. Oh, the other thing, check Rob Ryan Red. They haven't done the post game stuff a couple of times, but if they're there on Twitter, they do run a series. If they don't do that, I'm going to probably try and see if I can get them to tell me what games they're going to do and not going to do, and maybe we do an after show where we bring everybody in and have a chat, if people are into that. And talking to the podcast people, hoping that we can put together sort of a cross platform podcast roundtable discussion thing amongst the people that are doing sort of YouTube, Spotify podcast space, and see what we can do there. So lots of things going on. I've got to do a Bradford video, or I'd like to. It's going to be hard, John, for me not to be critical, because I don't like the fans, but it is where it is. I'll change kit. It's where we're at. I don't want to shut us down. We're chatting and we still got 25 people here. But I think it's probably my wife's probably ready for me to go and be attentive to the kids and get out of the house. It's only 9 o'clock in the morning, which is kind of a nice way to set up the day, is fired up early, and then we're going to get out and do some things. So thank you for joining. Had a blast as always. You guys are awesome. I'm loving that this is getting bigger and better, and hopefully continues to grow and we're able to do more. So subscribe button if you didn't get the chance, and I will see you on Tuesday, or update you via Twitter, Facebook as to what's happening. And wait, you're going to be at the Wrexham Bradford away game. Also not the Tuesday game. That's the other thing, is if the connection was really good, maybe I ship some money and somebody does a sneaky little stream of it and we just run that through the channel. If there's somebody in Wrexham who can get that game on their face and they're happy to hold the camera, I'll share screen. We'll connect. I can bring them on as a guest and stream it that way. No, we can't get into trouble because it's live. And I guess unless somebody goes out and finds them and pulls them out, but maybe that's the way. Find somebody who's going to the game, and I'll pay for their data so that we can get them onto the channel and do it that way. I guess I can't be in the tech end. Did you say the coverage was bad? Can't get a signal in the ground. Yeah, that's what I've heard. And I wonder if they do that intentionally. It boggles my mind. You're less than a mile from town. The stadium's less than a mile from town. How in the hell do you not have cell coverage in there? It is what it is. Okay, had a blast. Thanks for being here. I'm actually going to hit the end stream button. Send me messages on Facebook or on Twitter if you guys have anything that you figure out in the next couple of days. And this